everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue and I am back with another American Horror Story review, you guys. And if you don't like all the extraness, get the fuck off my page, because here it is. The episode starts off with them taking us back, way back in time, to a young Michael Langdon in what seems like Mead, all right? Seems like Mead all the way, but it seems to be the human version of Mead. I don't know if Mead's name was Mead when she was, Michael Langdon's caretaker, but that's we're gonna call her human Mead, the real Mead, okay? And we see that Mead was a devil worshiper. We even see them sitting at the table, saying, I don't know what the opposite of grace is, but whatever the prayer was saying, they said Nema, which is amen backwards. And I guess whenever you do something and you worship Satan, it has to be whatever people do who worship Jesus backwards. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I see y'all. Anyway, they're joking about how she killed all 3 of her previous husbands. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Michael Langdon says that Mead made him feel loved and safe. So his love for the real Mead is why he created the robot Mead, all right? And he says that he needs her help. And then he feels a presence. And that presence is Cordelia, Myrtle, and Madison waking up fake Oprah, Coco, and Mallory. Waking them up because apparently they was witches before. And a spell was casted on them so that they wouldn't remember who their true selves were. But we need their help to fight Michael Langdon. Fake Oprah is not here for it. She don't want help fight no fucking body, okay? She say, I'm here to watch, bitch, okay? I have made millions of dollars on television, toting the line. I'm going to continue to do just that. Langdon comes in and says, haven't y'all taken a look around the world? I have already won. There's no one to defeat. Okay? Myrtle says, yeah, the state of the world is much like that jacket, but the world can still be saved. I'm like, I love you, Myrtle. Myrtle says, I thought the world would end with fire and ice, not witches and warlocks. So then we go to 3 years before the bomb, okay? We see an all-boys school of magic, okay? Like all-boys Hogwarts or some shit like that. Slytherin. Okay, the Slytherin edition, okay? The Ravenclaw edition, all right? Either way, we see Pray Tell. Yes, y'all. Pray Tell is one of the warlocks. There's 4 warlocks that run this school. I'm sorry, I didn't get any of their names, so we're going to have to go by ethnicity and the shit that I remember in their real names, because B.D. Wong was on here too, and B.D. Wong was one of the Asian warlocks, and then there's another bald Asian warlock. He seems a little bit more like Tibetan. Okay, but we just gonna go ahead and be like bald Asian one and B.D. Wong, and then a white guy, what is his name in real life? Shanye or whatever his name is in real life, but he plays on all of the American Horror Stories. At least I can remember since Hotel. Ever since Hotel, I remember him. Okay, but here he is on this one, and it's 4 of them. And they run in this school, but they all want to try to get a one-up on the women, because apparently all the female witches are much more powerful than the male witches. Even them being the teachers of this school only have gotten to level 3, and the Supremes get to level 4, and only female witches are Supremes. So the men are feeling a little, disrespected and unvalued in the witch and warlock community. And I'm like, boo-hoo. Sorry for ya. So we see Pray Tell is doing like a Letitian class, giving all of this Jafar realness, all right? And he checks some student, Mr. Banks, some kid who came in late. He tells him that if he can't be on time, maybe he should join the Magic Castle and do card tricks with Neil Patrick Harris. And he forgot his book. And then we see the book come flying in and hit the dude in the chest, all right? Then we see them chant and turn glass into a ball above their heads, and then my boo B.D. Wong comes in. And he calls Pray Tell into a meeting where they are watching some kid who was arrested, and they're watching it on a monitor, and they see like the kid being beat up by a cop. Apparently, they think that the kid killed some shop owner, stabbed him a whole bunch of times with like 7 different knives or some shit like that. He was the only person in the room. How did it happen? Okay, and then we see him magically push the police officer against the wall, then up on the ceiling, and all of his bones breaking shit, and then he falls down on the ground, and then his head gets dissipated and there's blood everywhere. The motherfucker's dead, okay? All right? Whoever the little kid is, because we couldn't really see his face at first, that kid killed the fuck out that police officer. And we eventually find out that it was a teenage Michael Langdon. The only one Caucasian warlock does not want mess with this. He like, we've never seen anybody with powers like that. It probably was a demonic possession. And if it wasn't, we don't want to deal with whatever the fuck them powers that kid got going on with him. The shit look wrong to me. I don't want to deal with it. I was like, the one time, the one time somebody speaking sense that, look, white warlock was like, don't look right to me. No, thank you. Everybody else wants to look into it. The Tibetan looking one, BD Wong, and Pray Tell all want to know what's going on with this kid. Could he be the warlock to come and be our lead and take over and be more powerful than the Supreme? Y'all know, like men always trying to assert their power over women. We see you. So then we see what actually happened for Michael to get called into the police office and all of that shit that happened, okay? We see Meade is in the grocery store flipping out because the butcher would not sell her a goat's head. He was like, lady, I'm not selling you a goat's head so you can do some weird freaky shit with it, all right? The dude behind the counter, the butcher, said some disrespectful shit about Meade, and that's when Michael Langdon couldn't take it anymore, and a whole bunch of knives come shooting across the room and stab the man and impale him and kill him, and he's dead. So now we see what happened. Somebody pissed off Michael, and Michael had to be little devil child and kill him. Okay, that's what happened. So then we see the Tibetan warlock, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong, y'all, but I didn't catch their names. I guess I can call him a bald warlock instead, if that's, if everybody feeling some type of way. But the way his clothes and all of that made me feel like one of them Tibetan monks. That's what he looked like to me. He looked like a monk. But anyway, he's a warlock, so obviously not a monk, because those two things would be different, right? Okay, so the bald warlock goes and gets Michael Langdon out of jail. On their way out, the bald warlock pushes the dude up against the wall, and his power holds him there until they walk out the building. But then we see Michael kind of crunching his hands up as they walk around a corner, and we see that the security guard, police officer, whatever, dies. That's not what the monk wanted to happen. That's not what the bald warlock wanted. But we see Michael wanted him dead. And that's why we see that they don't realize that Michael is evil. They don't see it. They don't realize it. We know. We can see his haircut. When they get into the car to pull off, we see Meade outside the police station talking about, I'm a believer. Hail the new world. Hail the new world. I'm a believer, Michael. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but obviously Meade, the real Meade, knew that Michael was some form of Satan. So the monk brings Michael back to their magic school and explains to him that ever since Cordelia put everybody on blast with their magic, their original school got burned down. So they had to go underground, literally. So they put Michael through tests to see if he's a level 4, which only female Supremes reach. Okay, we talked about that. First, he passes the mirror test where he can look into the mirror and find what they were hiding, and also he materialized what they were hiding, which was not a part of the test. So obviously, he's winning extra points. Then he does astral projection where he's running all over the room disappearing when BD Wong is throwing shit at him. Then he controlled the weather. He made it snow, then a blizzard came, people almost died until the bald warlock was like, enough! And then he stopped, and then everybody was breathing again. But BD Wong was about to die in that blizzard. Only the 3 of them want to use him to get a one-up on the witches and lead them to their rightful place and all of this bullshit. And it's like, it's not your rightful place. What are you talking about? Witches and warlocks, the witches rule. Let it be what it is, baby. Just be a warlock, baby. In every other essence of the world, you matter as a man. In this situation, you don't. Just deal with it. It'll be okay. You'll be all right. So then we see the witches at their school in New Orleans, and we see Zoe, who was, just learning her magic when we saw them on a coven, teaching a class to a bunch of witches, and Mallory is one of the witches in the group. And Mallory seems to be very, very powerful. They had a spell where they were supposed to turn a white rose into a different color. Everybody else turns the rose into yellow or orange, and she turns it into blue. Then the leaves fall off and become little birds, and then it turns into a complete different flower. I mean, obviously, this bitch got magic. And that's when we see Myrtle come in with a message for them to come to the boys' school immediately. And she had made reservations at Galatois, so she was very annoyed by this. When they get to the school, the 4 warlocks sit down with the witches and tell them that they have this young teenager who they want to put through the 7 wonders. And one of the Supremes has to administer the 7 wonders. Well, Cordelia doesn't want to do it because she doesn't want to almost kill this kid to find out something that probably isn't true, meaning that men can't be Supremes. So did y'all really call us all the way out here for this bullshit? In order to make her feel bad, they bring up how she abandoned Queenie. And Pray Tell was like, of course y'all abandoned a black one. I see you, Miss Supreme. I was like, yes, you better say what the viewers at home would say, Pray Tell. Cordelia gets very hurt by this and says that she did not give up on Queenie. That is not what happened. Queenie went to Los Angeles and never came back. And when she found out she was at that evil ass Hotel Cortez, which is where the hotel, version of American Horror Story that season came from, she went to get Queenie. But then we realized that Queenie had died in that hotel and she was a ghost, and Cordelia couldn't get her out. She kept trying, but she could not get her out. But she definitely went and tried to save her, okay? Because she cares about all of their people, which is why she is not going to do the test of the 7 wonders on Michael Langdon. But Michael Langdon is an ear-hustling little boy, and he heard everything that she said. So he sought out to find Queenie and Madison, okay? So first he goes to the House of Cortez, and Queenie is playing cards with March. When Cordelia went to try to get her out, she's just playing cards with March the whole time. Cordelia explains to them that because she gets her magic from the lights, and the Hotel Cortez is an evil place full of dark magic, her magic couldn't thrive there. But when Michael Langdon showed up to get Queenie out, his dark magic did work. So he was able to get Queenie out. Then he went and found Madison in her own personal hell. And we know Queenie used to be in her own personal hell at the register in that fast food restaurant. But now we see that Madison is working at the register in some department store where the customers are aggravating the shit out of her, and a manager is never coming. Okay? She getting hit on the ass and all kind of shit. And it kind of reminded me of The Good Place, about how they orchestrate your own personal hell. So I loved it. And the fact that she knew she was in hell was, I guess, ironic, because she always knows shit and she's a know-it-all, and she knew she was in hell. So y'all, it was just so funny to me. But he came and got her ass out. So Langdon, Queenie, and Madison walk up on Cordelia, Myrtle, and Zoe as they're leaving the boys' magic school. And then Cordelia passes out when she sees Queenie and Madison. And then Queenie goes running, and Madison is like, oh shit. So then she goes running, and we see Michael just standing there with a smile on his face like, I did it, bitch. I am the Supreme. I was like, oh Lord, what's gonna happen? And when we get to the future, what the fuck happened to Zoe? Y'all, so many questions, but it's getting good, and I'm here for it. I hope y'all like the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope y'all will be back for the next American Horror Story review. Breakdown, recap, whatever you want to call it. All right, y'all. Follow me at BONDY.BRITTANY on Instagram and Twitter. Peace out.